Hey, what is up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. Finally, after the first time in what feels like forever, we are doing a solo car money method. Now, the reason I've not really done these for a while is because there's not really been too much of note, and I feel like I got very tired of sort of grinding money and building cars, and after a few months away I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back, see if I can make anything of, maybe one of the new cars, and it turns out the Genesis X VGT was actually the one for the job. Now, before we do get into the video, I want to say a massive thank you to the livery creator for the livery I'm using on the Genesis today. Ascona, absolutely fantastic work. I really like the look of this livery on the car. To be honest, there wasn't many that caught my eye, but this one certainly did. It's very minimal and kind of adds to the whole style of this vehicle, so thanks to him for the livery. Now, in terms of this vehicle, unless you've been living under a rock, this is a free vehicle. If you took part in the viewers campaign, you will actually have two of these things. If not, you will have to purchase one for 1 million credits. However, I'm going to go with the assumption that the majority of the player base will already have one of these for free, just sat around in their garage. And whilst it is overall not the most useful vehicle in the world, it actually does serve some purpose when tuned correctly. So let's get into the build itself. Now, considering this car has zero in terms of upgrades and I guess customizable options, it's a very simple build to achieve. The only thing you need to do is ensure you've got racing hards on the vehicle. Now, you'll see all of these settings are grayed out, so we cannot actually change any of these. However, once you've got the overall feeling of this car down to a T, it's absolutely fantastic. The only things that need changing is this. You want to get some ballast, put it to 85, put the position into -48, and that is literally it. Job done. No kind of fine tuning needed, nothing like that, considering that the majority of it cannot be changed anyway, just due to general lack of upgrades. The next thing you want to do is ensure that your game is set to easy. This will ensure that the AI is kind of not in your way and you don't risk losing 20 to 25 minutes of work. Now, this is for the new players. I'm assuming there is a bunch of new guys over since Christmas and the game being on sale and such like that. So you want to head over to Europe, Sardinia Road Track, and over to this event here. This is the Sardinia World Touring Car 800 event. It's going to be the 15 lap one. The maximum reward will be 48500. Whilst this is the lowest paying, I guess, grinding event of the bunch, it is overall the entire easiest. So this is a great beginner method. Now, I'm going to talk about the car itself before we get into how to run it, the method and such. Now, I think we all know that this car is notorious for having a ton of torque and a ton of power, meaning that this thing loves to spin its wheels up. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is absolutely you need to be running a manual transmission. You want to be hitting the majority of the corners on exit in 4th or 5th gear, which sounds really bizarre, sounds like it's going to be extremely slow, but that is just the driving style for this vehicle. It will ensure that you're maintaining full traction the entire time, and that is pretty much a must. Run manual transmission if you don't already. Go ahead, just get used to the game for maybe an hour or two, and trust me, it will naturally come to you. I've been running manual transmission since day one of this game, and to be honest, I just cannot look back now. Having full control over the car is massively important, and if you're still running automatic transmission, you're just limiting yourself and automatically penalizing yourself as well. Although 5th gear might sound rather bizarre for taking off from corners, trust me, this car has plenty of power to pull it along, hitting over 200 miles per hour on the straights, and once driven correctly is an absolute miss out. So let's get into the method itself. You need to be running fuel mix 6 to begin with. Now, there is my reasoning for this. You could essentially go for a 1 run pit stop, 1 run. However, I recommend running fuel mix 6 just to begin with, as this gives you a lot less tire wear and allows you to go a lot deeper into the race before doing a final sprint and finishing up. Whilst usually with a lot of cars there's a huge drop off between running at fuel mix 1 and running at 6, I found that with the Genesis itself, the kind of drop off in performance isn't as bad as a lot of other vehicles. Sometimes the gap is upwards of 3 to 4 to 5 seconds a lap difference by running in fuel 6. However, with the Genesis, I notice it's anywhere from about 1 to 1.5 seconds. However, because we are keeping the tyres in check and we're not overly burning them out and spinning them up, which is obviously a risk at Fuel Mix 1, and we're going a lot deeper into the race. It means that come that second stint, we can risk burning off the tyres a lot more than we would have been able to had we been running Fuel Mix 1. Whilst yes, it is a viable option to do a flat out run until the midpoint and then another flat out run, again the tyres are going to absolutely shred themselves come the end of the race overall, as well as fuel as well possibly becoming an issue, meaning you're going to have to mess around with that a lot more towards the end of each stint. So I fully recommend just save the tyres, go as deep as you possibly can, and then you should be all good for a flat out sprint at the end of the race. Now in terms of yellow flags, that is the only thing that is going to lose you the clean race bonus here. It's common knowledge and it's very, very rare. I think I've seen around 2 in, you know, what is probably over 200 runs of Sardinia, so you're certainly probably not going to see any. However, there is a rare occasion it can happen. We took the lead at the kind of midpoint of lap 2. After that, it's just a case of pottering along to the finish. Now the cars on the track are on completely different strategies. Some are on 1 stop, 2 stops, some I believe even 3 stop in this event, which is just not great at all. We are going to follow the 1 stop rule. So at the end of lap 8, the tyres are going to start feeling a little bit janky, so we're going to box in, we're going to switch onto another set of hards, and then instead of filling to where the diamond is going to tell you, you want to fill the car to its maximum fuel load. For me personally, I've just noticed so much of a difference between filling up at the diamond and then sometimes going a little bit, you know, over. You know, sometimes it is just not the most accurate system in the world, and I would not rely on it. That's why I recommend just going for a full tank of fuel. This way, we're going to have a little bit extra to play with, and we're going to ensure that we're not kind of stranded in the middle of the track come towards the end of the race. So once you're done, exit the pits, and that is your pit stop done. So now it's time to change up the strategy. Fuel Mix 1 the entire way. Just be aware that you're still going to be short shifting out of corners. Obviously just keep an eye on my gears there. You'll see me exiting at very high gears, sometimes 4th, 5th, etc. Just continue to follow that trend. Again, the tires are going to burn off a lot quicker. We're obviously spinning them up just slightly a bit more, but overall on the last few laps it shouldn't matter, and you should be able to get across the line with your tires intact and fuel spare. So there we go, job done, first place, nice and easy. Hopefully this guide and this kind of rundown of the car really does help you guys out. So in terms of overall time, it was a 24:29.557. We did have a few run-ins with the AI, so just be aware of them. Definitely capable of very low 24-minute runs. Fastest lap 1:34.257, so tons of 1 lap potential. In terms of prize money, 727,500 with that clean race bonus. Very difficult to lose it, and that is going to be the Genesis X VGT. So funnily enough, it turned out what should have been a useless VGT turns out to be a relatively decent money making method car, and well, it's free for most players, so definitely make use of it. It'll make you a ton of money, and overall its potential is absolutely insane at 800 pp. This is usable at Spa as well, however for me it's definitely more of a Sardinia runner than it is for that 1 hour at Spa. Big thank you to all of my channel members: JRO49, Carl Wyatt, Phil Wilmot, Dominic Saylor, Dan, Sean and Chris 75572. Thank you guys for keeping this channel going. If you do want to become a member today, it is massively appreciated. Thanks so much guys, that's going to be it from me today. Let me know what you think of this car. If there's any others you want to see, let me know in the comments below. Take care, peace.